basking in the glory of CKP. If he were to be alive, last August he would have completed 90 years. I think people like Peter Drucker and others lived for much longer period. Very unfortunate. We lost C.K. Prahlad almost about 10 years ago. 12 years to be precise. I think he died at 68. Too early for a person who was contributing to management field as well as to India. He loved India. He came every now and then and gave free talks for the Ahmedabad Management Association and whosoever invited him in the country. CII, of course, adopted in his name a center, and also I think a large number of his videos are available at Ahmedabad Management Association. My association with CK started in a very peculiar way. In 1975, I was invited by David McClelland to work with him and to adapt a psychosocial maturity scale. He and his one-time student, Abigail Stewart, who is now at the University of Michigan as a professor of psychology, were doing. I was appointed as a research associate to David McClelland for a 3-month period because that is the way I had to go there. And in fact, as soon as I landed there, I ended up staying at McClelland's house. And when that was the time CK was doing his DBA at Harvard Business School. He was there with his wife and son and daughter, Murali and Deepa. When CK's mother-in-law, that is Gayatri's mother, came to know that I am visiting Harvard, she came to our house and gave me a few things to be carried for the children. So she made some nice, lovely sweets, and I carried them to Harvard and then called up CK and went to his house. He was staying in the doctoral student hostels, and we had a lovely dinner at his place. I met Deepa and Murali, young kids at the time, both of them were there. And I still remember, I think after the dinner, CK going out to get strawberries. He wanted me to taste the strawberry ice cream with fresh strawberries and so on. So that was a lovely dinner I had. I stayed with McClelland only for a few days. Later, I had to go to Wesleyan University. Perhaps if I stayed longer at Massachusetts, I would have met CK many more times. But I didn't have the good fortune. But I heard the wonderful work that he was doing, already planning to write a book along with his thesis advisors and so on. It's only a few months later, Prahlad returned back to Ahmedabad as a colleague and started, along with Labdi Bhandari, a very interesting new program called Management Education Program, which is supposed to be just for about 6 months kind of a thing, to be able to give in capsule form all management knowledge, which we could not give in our MBA. And he made a lot of contributions during those 2-year period. But one fine morning, I think it was on a Friday, CK and I were discussing about organizational climate, measuring organizational climate in his room in wing number 1. Next week, I learned that CK, in an unexpected move, left the country and went to and joined at the University of Michigan as a professor. We all wondered, but this was a sudden kind of a thing. It didn't seem to be planned and things like that. I think after that, I think there were all kinds of discussions about why did CK have to leave. Many of us wondered. It's many years later, it occurred to me that this is the best thing that CK had ever done in terms of, although he had a longer kind of a contract with IIM, deciding to go to Michigan. The reason is this, that I always believe that India is a very interesting country, great people, great talent. But one problem with India is that Indian people talented in India have a tendency to pull each other down. As a result, India does not recognize, or India recognizes more of people who come from other places. See the number of Nobel laureates who are of Indian origin. They went to other countries and prospered, because I think other countries offered certain kind of freedom and dignity and so on, which I think understandably India has difficulties in offering. As a result of this, most talented people in India feel that their talent gets recognized elsewhere. Of course, for every one person who feels so, there are at least dozens of others who feel that no, this is the country, it doesn't matter recognized or not, and you should stay there. I think you have lots and lots of examples. But for those who prefer to go, I think after C.K. Prahlad, there are many others like I think Vijay Govindarajan, then Professor Raghavachari, who worked for long years in India, then and many others. I don't need to. Coming back to C.K. Prahlad, I think C.K. became very famous for his contributions to core competence theories, and later on competitive advantage. He's a great strategy professor, and also with a human relations orientation. I strongly believe that all strategy people need to be HR driven and HR oriented, or behavioral science oriented. So I was following him in terms of whatever he was doing, but I think sometime from 90s onwards he started coming back to India, because by the time he became very famous, noted as one of the highest paid consultants across the world, and management thinkers, management gurus, and so on. And I still remember attending his Vikram Sarabhai lectures in IIM Louis Kahn Plaza, organized by AMA. So, since I happened to be associated with AMA, whenever he came to India, there used to be some small informal get togethers. But I always felt shy to go approach him and talk to him. I had this inner desire, why don't we work together? Why don't we publish something? Why don't we write? But I'm sure that CK was following whatever I was doing, because once he met me, the first question he asked is, when is your next book coming? So he knew that I've been a prolific writer, and therefore I think this is something which struck in his mind. A few years later, one of the CEOs of an upcoming pharma company, now it's a very well-known pharma company, the chairman called me up and he said that, Professor Rao, I read this book by Professor Prahlad, and he mentioned some of the interesting names. He is a global management guru. Can you put me in touch with him? I only want my company's name to be mentioned. I want to tell him what work we are doing. And if C.K. Prahlad mentions our company's name in his book, it is going to change our fortunes. I did not hesitate. I had the number of Gayatri, his wife. I called her up and requested her that so and so wants to have a word with Dr. Prahlad. So can you facilitate this? She was very nice. She said that TV, ask him to call him at any point of time. I will mention to CK and then he will be quite happy. A year later, I discovered CK. I was doing some 360-degree feedback work with this company. I happened to be conducting a workshop and I was told CK Prahlad is visiting that company. So CK came to that company and he addressed them, and I peeped in. And as usual, he said, "Oh, TV, when is your next book coming?" That's the usual way. I was so happy to see him there. After that, also, I met him a few times in Ahmedabad. In fact, Gayatri and he had a flat in the same premises where I was living, Samay Apartments in Ahmedabad. So we have had many opportunities to see each other, but never interacted beyond saying hi. I always had this inner desire, why don't I write to CK and tell him the work I am doing, and then see if he can chip in, and we should be able to do something jointly. Because his thoughts at the bottom of the pyramid, or his thoughts of our work in Javaja, they are all very, very close to each other. So we thought in a very similar way. The only thing is, he is a strategy professor, worldwide known professor. I am into the HR field. So I thought there could be an opportunity to marry these two things. Unfortunately, it never happened. Uh, One day when I learned that he is no more, it was such a tragic kind of a news. Gayatri keeps coming once in a while to our place, but we have not had much of an opportunity. I'm so happy that Deepa is doing. Uh, I'm told she's following her father's footsteps and doing a wonderful job. Uh, but I think to me, CK is immortal in the sense that I even today look at the number of CDs, videos he has produced. They are all available at Ahmedabad Management Association. They are fresh in our mind, and these are all wonderful kind of contributions. So CK lives for ever in our hearts and in the management field, and he continues to be a great management guru. By chance, if you have not read his books or you have not gone through his CDs, I would strongly recommend you to go through this. The best of the CDs is when he invited about half a dozen leaders or CEOs to uh, AMA seminar. One of them was Venkat Changavalli, who talked about that was the time EMRI was starting. It's a very excellent kind of talk Venkat Changavalli had given. I think you should get this CD. The same Kanwar Vasudeva talked about SUCAM. ICICI talked about their kind of new insurance work that they are doing. So these are all very wonderful kind of contributions. I think there's never late to learn about CK and his contributions. Do get in touch with Ahmedabad Management Association and get some of his series, read some of his books. They are, in my view, timeless. Some people say that CK is almost like Peter Drucker. He is the second Peter Drucker. Uh, I'm not very surprised because he certainly has been a great thinker and a very humane and wonderful kind of a person. I always think that we have many CK Prahalads in India. The tribute I can pay to CK Prahalad is to tell my Indian friends, please recognize is the CK Prahalads next door to you so that they don't have to all the time look for recognitions in world forums and be a part of the top 50 thinkers. I think you have many thinkers in our neighborhood. It's important that we recognize and appreciate that thinkers sometimes in front of you, in your own family, in your neighborhood, and so on. This is the tribute I can pay, and that is when I think CK's dream of India becoming a global leader can be achieved. Thank you. Nice listening to. Thank you for listening to this long talk.